And now you want to be the senator. And how's the campaign going? They say that Labor Day is when the campaign officially begins. Is that how you're approaching it?
Well, it certainly is, and we're hitting a stride right at the exact right time. We're getting a lot of momentum, and, in the last 48 hours, the president has retweeted me 3 times, which is pretty darn good. We're getting a lot of attention from the White House at this point and from supporters all across Virginia and across the country.
Well, what did he retweet you about? It wasn't about Diamond and Silk, was it? Because I can get a retweet from him on Diamond and Silk.
No, it's about supporting our federal employees and the pay raise and that we really do need. And I've been a strong supporter of President Trump all these years on all sorts of issues. And when he was considering freezing the pay the wages for our federal employees, I said, with all due respect, Mr. President, I disagree with you on that because during the Obama years, there were several rounds of benefit cuts, of wage freezes, and our federal employees have been used as political football between Congress and President Obama, and I hope that he can change that around, and he retweeted my comment.
Well, that's interesting.
I think that's an indication that he plans to do something about it.
That's interesting. And when it comes to Labor Day, it's interesting that you're making that argument. Your opponent, Tim Kaine, I want you to read, you're talking about Twitter. Here's what he tweeted out today. On Labor Day, remember why we have this day off and what we're celebrating. Unions are essential to protecting workers' rights. And when workers are strong, the economy is strong. Now more than ever, we need to focus on raising wages and ensuring opportunity for all. Really? This is all about union workers? What about people who aren't in unions? What do you think about that?
I mean, most of our workforce in this country is not unionized. You don't need the union, to be supportive of labor. President Trump, the reason he is president is because he supports blue-collar people. He supports people who work for a living. And on everything from international trade to illegal immigration, President Trump is supporting our workforce. But the Democrats have really, once upon a time, they claimed to be the party of the working guy, but no longer. They really betrayed blue-collar working-class Americans, and that's why President Trump won in 2016. And frankly, that's one of the reasons I'm going to win this November.
Well, it's interesting. Your opponent seems to think that government intervention is what's going to raise wages. If you get into the U.S. Senate, how will you help people who are working and would like to make more money?
Hey, I'll tell you, you know something? No president in recent history has done more to raise wages than President Trump and the Republican Congress. This tax cut, we're 8 months into it, and already we got the lowest unemployment rate in 50 years, the highest wage rate growth in 20 years, business investment at an all-time high, manufacturing is coming back to the U.S. The way you help people is by helping businesses, by getting off their backs, by cutting people's taxes, by deregulating, removing unnecessary, old, antiquated regulations. That's happening in this country. That's what I'm going to do to the United States and the United States Senate, support the president with that, and we need even more tax cuts to make this economy continue to thrive.
What are the biggest issues you're hearing right now when you do campaign events, when you go around the Commonwealth? What's on people's minds right now?
Well, I'm in Saltville right now at their Labor Day festival. I've been shaking probably, 1,000 hands so far today, and I'll tell you what, people are very happy with the direction of our country. But, they have some concerns. They want to make sure that this growth that we're seeing, economic growth continues. They want to make sure that manufacturing comes back to the country. But there's a couple other issues that are rising. People are very concerned about the opiate epidemic that is destroying communities and families. And you know something? 80% of the artificial opiates come across the border from Mexico, almost 100% of the heroin. One of the reasons we need to build a wall on the Mexican border is to keep opiates, heroin included, out of our country and stop it from destroying our families.
Our guest is Corey Stewart. He is a Republican nominee for Senate in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Back to Labor Day, the president, one of the ways he says he's protecting American jobs and American wages is through getting tough on trade. But there's also been some studies that show that Virginia will actually suffer quite a bit if we end up having a full-blown trade war with China or with one of our neighbors to the north and to the south. Where do you stand on the idea of tariffs, and will you support the president's desire to put tariffs on foreign nations, even if it means hurting some of the industries in Virginia?
Well, I'm an international trade attorney. I believe in free trade. This is how I make my living. But free trade's got to be free in both directions. Right now, we've got goods freely entering the United States, and that's fine. But our trading partners, including the Europeans, including Japan, including the Chinese, are keeping out U.S.-made goods through high tariffs and other non-tariff barriers, and that has gutted the American manufacturing sector. You get a little bit outside of Northern Virginia, and you'll see boarded-up shops, closed down towns. The young people have left, and that's because manufacturing was gutted over the last 20 years. I support what the president is doing. I think it's necessary to stand up and make sure we're getting. And by the way, Mexico has already backed down. China will back down. You know why? Because we hold all the cards. They have a massive trade deficit with. We have a massive trade deficit with them. They have the surplus. At the end of the day, they're going to blink first. We won't have a trade war. We're going to have more free and open trade and more manufacturing back in the United States.
You have made immigration, illegal immigration to be specific, a hallmark of your political career. You made it a front and center of your political campaigns. Your opponent, Tim Kaine, couldn't be more different than you on the issue of illegal immigration. Are you making enough of that? Are you emphasizing that enough in your campaign? I haven't seen as much of it, and I don't see him on his heels having to defend his open border policies.
Yeah, you're right about that. You know, we need to make more of it because it is true, and it's not just in Northern Virginia. Look, we have a lot of illegal aliens coming into our country, and many of them have criminal backgrounds. The murder that we saw in Iowa with Molly Tibbetts, the killing just recently down in Chesterfield by an illegal alien of a small child. Look, we have a lot of these criminals. I led 10 years ago a crackdown on illegal immigration in Prince William County. We handed more than 8,000 criminal illegal aliens over to ICE for deportation. Crime rate dropped in half. That's what we got to do all over Virginia and across the country. Focus in on the criminal element within the illegal immigration community. And by the way, I support immigration. In fact, I support more immigration, but it's got to be done lawfully, and we have to make sure that the people coming to our country don't have criminal backgrounds and can support themselves and their families and bring more to America than they take away from it.
You guys got another debate scheduled?
We do. On September the 26th, there's going to be a debate held by the Northern Virginia Chamber of Commerce up here in Northern Virginia, and then in October, the AARP will be sponsoring a debate in Richmond.
Wow, the Chamber of Commerce and the AARP. Well, all right. No comment. Corey Stewart, good luck with the campaign. Don't be a stranger. Keep in touch.
Thanks a lot, Larry.
Happy Labor Day to you. As usual, we have put forth an invitation to Senator